When I was in college, I decided to do a little deep dive in to see what the common denominator was for successful business owners throughout history and the current time, because college was a little while ago for me. And I realized that every single one of them had two things that they had in common. And it didn't matter if it was the railroads that made them wealthy, or the stock market, or real estate, or being an attorney, or whatever it was. And the two things that they had in common was they knew exactly where every single penny went, down to the penny. And number two, they had a clear, distinct vision. And realizing that has changed my life in being a business major and being in business for the past few decades. Again, talking about my age a little bit there. But going forward in this presentation, or this little snippet of information to share with you, I want you to really think about your business. And if you can answer those two questions, do you have a clear and very distinct mission or purpose for why you're in business? And second of all, do you know where every single penny goes? And if you can answer yes to those two questions, you have overcome a huge mountain of making yourself successful for going forward. Now it's tuning into those two things. So when we look at having a mission, it is a matter of saying, why am I in business? What is it that I want to fulfill? So here for us at Sum of All Numbers, our mission statement is driving entrepreneurs toward financial peace. And everything that we do has to meet that criteria. And if it doesn't, then we don't incorporate it in our business, because for most of you that are business owners, we are so distracted. We're distracted by shiny new objects, but we're also distracted by saying we want to be everything for all of our clients. We are really good at doing what we do, and so we can be good at a lot of things. But that doesn't lead to success. And that mission statement is what keeps us on track and makes us sure that we don't get sidetracked in spreading ourselves too thin, of not having the right profitability and all of those pieces. I want to share with you a couple of things. And we here at Sum of All Numbers have really looked into the different ways of doing business and how we can best support you as you go forward in your business. And I will never be an expert in the business that you're an expert in. But what I am an expert in is in the principles, philosophies, and the financial methods used to putting all those pieces together. We have jumped on the Mike Michalowicz bandwagon, and part of it is because he's so much fun and he just makes sense of everything and it's easy to remember. So I'm going to start right now and jump to the Fix This Next. And we've got that free evaluation for you on one of the other tabs that you are welcome to go and do that evaluation. But at Sum of All Numbers, we really dive deep on this in order to find out more. So I'm going to share my screen and go right here. And this is the Fix This Next diagram. You can read the book, you can learn all about these things, you can take the free evaluations there, or you can hire us to help you and really dive into this. But this is based upon what needs to happen and where your foundation is down here, and then what needs to be built on that. So if you look right here, this is our oxygen, and that if we don't have money coming in the door, then we will not be able to continue and move forward. It's your marketing approach. It also is your ability to fulfill the commitments that you have and your client's ability for them to fulfill their commitments to you. And there's a whole bunch of other things that go into this sales part as well. If you do not have these pieces in place, you have no business moving higher up this pyramid. The second part is once you've got that nailed down and you've got your clients coming in the door and you've got cash coming in, then we all look at what is our cash flow. And are we making a profit? And are we pricing things correctly? And are we seeing a return on what I call our blood, sweat, and tears, so that we want to keep on moving forward? The profit means nothing if we can't bring these sales in the door. And sales mean nothing unless you are truly focused on what your mission is. Because a sale is not just a sale. We want that profit that sale to be profitable. This area right here is where we incorporate our profit first. Cash flow is the number one reason that businesses have to close their doors. And if you do not have the cash flow when you need it, you too will find yourself stressed, focused on money instead of what your business is, and you will not be able to move forward the way you want to. Profit first is about setting aside that money so that when it comes due, it's already there, ready to be paid. Payroll is the number one stressor for entrepreneurs. It's the biggest expense, and it's the one, are we going to have enough money to make payroll? Other things, your business, I'd like you to think about it right now. What areas of your business do you know that you have big amounts, big chunks of money coming out? Perhaps it's when real estate property taxes come due, or maybe it's insurances that come due. Perhaps it might be something your cost of goods sold if you're getting supplies that you have to buy in bulk and it's a huge amount of cash that goes out the door at one part. You want to be able to identify those and start planning now for when those are going to come due. Set the money aside in an incremental way so that when that bill comes, it's already set aside. Taxes with the IRS is part of Profit First as well. Setting money aside so that you as the business owner have all of your taxes set aside so that you can pay those taxes when they come due. So Profit First is not this huge, it's not brain surgery. It's not rocket science. It's a matter of realizing how much money you have to set aside and setting aside someplace where you will not touch it so that when it comes due, it's sitting there. And it's setting up bank accounts. Like I said, Mike has all these books out there and you can do it by yourself. This webinar is to help you and to give you the encouragement that it's something that you can do and put into play right now so that you can master this profit level. You can have stability in your business and you can plan without being in your books or in your bank account every single day. As we go forward, then we go into order. And I'm really only going to talk about these three things because the majority of small business owners, which you probably are one of those, which is why you clicked on this, those are more of the area that we need to focus on and what I want to give to you today. This order is a matter of looking at the processes of what business you're in and how you get from the very beginning to the end product that goes to the to your customer. So let's just take if you are a restaurant business and you are a Mexican business, because Mexican food is my favorite. I could eat it every day of the week and never get tired of it. You start off with, you've got a menu item. So we're going to use tacos at this point. And the process of that is someone needs to place the order with the tortilla company, with the beef company, with the produce company, with the dairy company. There you go. Your basic ingredients for a taco. That would be documented in the process of place the order with the vendor. And included with that, it might be another process. Perhaps somebody who is doing those orders might be like, don't do that unless you get a bulk order. Go check the inventory. You can see what I mean. You can really go down a rabbit hole. But if we're looking at just making the tacos, there has to be that order. Bringing in the order from the vendors, all the supplies that come in, and then processing those in the way that need to be happened. So it might be setting out the ingredients, chopping the lettuce, putting it out there, taking the order from the client, putting it into the dish that it is in, setting it on a plate and taking it to the person who is sitting in your restaurant ready to eat that taco. What we saw in COVID was that we encouraged those people to really identify, all of our businesses, identify the order, especially if your business was shut down. And you can see all the different pieces that you go through from step 1, step 2, step 3, steps 4. And we said, all right, we no longer have a client, a customer who is able to walk in the door, sit down in a restaurant and order tacos from us. So let's back it up. All right, well, what was the next thing? It was putting it on a plate. We can no longer have plate. All right, it was putting the tacos in order. Oh, okay, we can still get all the way to that part of making that taco. We just can't put it on a plate and we can't give it to a person in there. So how are we going to do that? And then it allowed our business owners, once they're able to realize that, of the order of things, their process, they could back it up, and now they could say, all right, we're going to have to go, put it in a to-go. But more than that, they could say, hey, let's have Taco Tuesday every Tuesday. Let's broadcast this to our current clientele. We know who they are. We've captured that in our sales and our marketing portion of it. Let's get that business out there to them and have the tacos all ready to go. We even had clients that instead of putting all the tacos together, let's put all the ingredients in this cute little packaging, and they can take it home and make their own tacos, because all you have to do is have the meat be prepared. Everything else is fresh. So families could go home, but it could be your tacos, that yummy tacos that only your company and your restaurant created. So when we have a system of our orders, what happens is it removes us as the business owner and gives efficiency to the entire business. So you can go on vacation and everybody knows. You can have your top employees quit. Somebody else comes in. It's all documented. This is how we do things. Then you get to a point where you look at Taco Bell, and they do it the same way, regardless if they're in Japan or if they're in, do they even eat Taco Bell in Japan? I don't know that. But they can do that regardless if in your North Carolina or in California or in Texas or whatever, because the process is there. You too can do that for your business. This impact and their legacy have to do with these companies that are going to be for a very, very, very long time, where this is your Coca-Cola and your Apples and your Habitat for Humanity and all of those pieces where they're giving back. And I'm really not going to jump into that right now. Mike does a great job in his book. The main reason is because the majority of the time we are dealing with these. You're going to jump from order to profit, back, even maybe back down to sales, then back to profit. And depending upon what's going on in your business and what's going on in the industry that you're in, you're going to jump all up and down, up and down. And you always want to be focusing on that thing which is lowest in the pyramid, because you can't build upon that. You'll just keep on fine-tuning, fine-tuning, fine-tuning. Your job is never done as a business owner. You'll have to pivot and you'll have to address new things, and you'll just get more and more and more refined and better at what you do. All right, I'm going to jump to my next slide here. This is part of the pumpkin plan. The pumpkin plan is also one of Mike Michalowicz's books. And this has to do with growing your giant pumpkin. And all of us have, as entrepreneurs, we have a dream. We have something that we know we could be really good at, that we want to get out there. And we all would definitely like to have that big giant pumpkin, because we'd like the money that goes along with the giant pumpkin. We'd like the freedom that goes along with having a giant pumpkin. And we'd like a little bit of the prestige that goes along with having the giant pumpkin. Most of us as entrepreneurs, that's what we want. And so this talks about how we get to having that giant pumpkin. So the growth strategy that SumOfAll Numbers provides for you in our consulting has to do along growing your giant pumpkin. Do you know the very first thing that we talk about before you can have any growth strategy whatsoever is, what is your mission statement? If you do not know why you are in business, then you cannot go forward. You have to stop there. And as we work in consulting with you, then we really nail it down. That means that every time that you have someone that is going to be a client, they have to fit your mission statement. Otherwise, they shouldn't be your client. Likewise, anyone who wants to work for you and be your employee, they have to buy into that mission statement. Otherwise, they can't be there. And as entrepreneurs, sometimes that's really hard to digest and to believe in until you experience it. Let me tell you, the first time that you, in essence, fire a client because they don't meet what your mission statement is or what your values are, then that's a hard thing. Normally, we will take any client who, regardless. But when you experience that for the first time and you actually let one of your clients go because they don't fit, when you experience that, you realize my time, my resources, my energy, my morale, everything is affected to the benefit of you as a company and an individual by letting that, I'm going to call them a bad client, letting them go, because they really suck up a lot of your resources. They make you less profitable, and they're never satisfied because they don't meet what your vision is and what your values are. We start right here in this area of top clients. This is knowing what your industry is, what your demographics are, and what your psychographics, that means the value, the mission statement. And you start really diving in to who are your top clients and what makes them your top clients. And in the Pumpkin Plan, we really go deep into this, having interviews with our top clients, asking them specific questions, getting criteria, doing an analysis of your bookkeeping and what those top clients, how much revenue they're actually bringing in for you and their profitability. That's all part of that. So that's the first part of growing your giant pumpkin. The next thing I'm going to jump down here is to systemization. That's that order that I just talked to you about. Looking at going from the very beginning of ordering lettuce, cheese, tortillas, and meat, and getting to end product of a taco, and getting it down into where things are systematized, meaning that you could go on vacation and your business would still go forward, that you could bring on new employees, that it's all documented, that everyone is on board with how it works, and that all those systemization pieces are fine-tuned so that it is something that rolls very, very, almost like a machine, but you're dealing with people and you're dealing with something that needs to pivot at times, but it's putting that into play. And the Pumpkin Plan goes deep into that. It also allows you to be able to grow and be able to handle the growth, which is what we want. Everyone wants that to grow. The last thing is this unique offering. Being different is what matters. And Mike will say that over and over and over. He puts out podcasts, he talks in lots of different way. I mean, he's at different venues or he's talking, and then you can catch all of his latest like little email blurbs or video blurbs. And he says, be different, be different. How are you different from the guy down the street? And putting that out there as your unique offering. So here for us at Sum of All Numbers, what makes us unique is we started as a bookkeeping company, but we're not just bookkeepers. We like really, really know your books. Our bookkeepers are intimately aware of it. They catch things. We had a bookkeeping client that was a hairstylist, and our bookkeeper was looking at this and saying, one of your stylists, it's just something, the productivity is not the way it is. Something, well, the hairstylist, the owner, put a camera on that. One of the owner put it on the stylist and realized that she was using her own methods of collecting payment. And it was all because we knew the books so well that something was off. With that being said, we realized we're more than bookkeepers. We can tell a story behind your books, and then we understand all of these principles about entrepreneurship and about having cash flow and about these different pieces of how to dive into your top clients, that it's time for us to make our unique offering of a complete package to you. You have that same thing in your business, and perhaps you might have to tweak something so that you're different than the guy next door. Because if you don't, then all you're doing is you're trying to do a price difference. You're just trying to beat the guy that can do it for less money. But once you're unique, you can say, that's fine. You're comparing apples to oranges, and that's great. Go buy it for $1 less. But with us, you're going to get something unique and different. So I would say to somebody who is coming here and said, I just need a bookkeeper, then I'd say, that's great. You do. You should go find someone who can just be a bookkeeper. You will save a lot of money, and you'll just get the bookkeeper you're looking for. But if you would like something more than a bookkeeper, and if you want a team partner for you in your books to help you grow your business and systematize it and really dive deep into things, then you would want to come to us. That's just using that example. If you also don't have one that is systematized, then see what it says, this gray area, then no one cares, because it doesn't matter. It's just sitting out there and you can't get it out to the public. Again, if you don't have if you only have top clients and a systemization, but nothing unique, again, we have that dollars for hours or the price pressure. But once you find where the three of these things meet, it's your sweet spot. You can go through these exercises. Definitely read the book. It is so worth every minute, especially if you listen to it on Audible, and find out if you can like go through the processes there and find out what your sweet spot. If you want help in doing this, that's what we're here for, is we will help you identify that sweet spot and then just get it out there and help you grow that giant pumpkin. Stop sharing my screen here. Stop sharing, get me back here. This gives you a little bit of more in depth of what Mike's books are about. The Profit First, I didn't go into any of the diagrams there for you, but he's got 4 books out right now, 5 books. You've got Fix This Next, Profit First, Pumpkin Plan, Surge, and Clockwork. And all of these pieces, Fix This Next takes over the big picture there. Pumpkin Plan takes into account how you're going to grow, strategically grow your business, and I just shared that with you. Profit First identifies the #1 reason why businesses go out, have to close their doors. And then Clockwork talks about what is the most important thing. Once you know what your mission is, then you have to identify what is it, in essence, that makes you different, your unique offering. And if everything else went away, what is it that you have to protect with all of your might from the top down, so that that is infused into all of your hiring, your firing, the new employees that you bring on, and you as the business owner. That's what Clockwork goes into. And Surge is identifying the market trends and jumping on whatever market trends might be coming your way. I hope this has helped you tremendously. I hope this encourages you to dive into those books, to reach out to us, see what we can do for you, or to just take the action yourself. Hopefully I've given you enough to know where you want to start for your business, and take the step now. Take the step now, and you have had dreams for your business and you know where it wants to go. These are all aids for you to take you to that next step and to really bring your vision and your dreams to a reality, and to serve the public with what those great ideas that you have. So thanks for tapping on here, and we'd love to talk to you more if that's something you'd like as well.